Hi grade 11s, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this video we are going to be completing the square. Now completing the square is a skill that you should have, very helpful for when you need to determine what the maximum or minimum point of a quadratic is, and also very valuable when you're going to be doing functions, the parabola. It's also just a skill that you can use. So one of the many tools that you have to solve a particular quadratic equation. Okay. If we want you to use completing the square, then we'll say solve the equation by completing the square. Other than that, you can use it if you want to. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, okay? Unless we say complete the square. I wrote 4 things that you need to remember, okay? The first one, you make the a value positive 1. I'm going to do an example. The second thing, we're going to be adding and subtracting something. All right, I'm going to show you that with an example. Then you factorize the trinomial, and then you just simplify it, okay, or solve. Maybe I should have written over here, simplify / solve. Let's do that, / solve, if it's an equation. Quick reminder, what's the difference between an equation and an expression? Equation, it has an equal to side. You're going to be solving for the unknown variable, whereas an expression doesn't have an equal to sign in it. You're just going to be simplifying the expression, or if the instruction says factorize, then you'd factorize the expression. Okay, I'm going to come back to this part over here which has maxima and minima. Let's first do a few examples on completing the square first. Right, so my instruction here says complete the square. I told you, you have to make sure your a value, can you see it's in standard form? You want to make your a value a positive 1. In this case, it's 2. So what we're going to do is take out, or forcefully take out, a common factor, meaning we're going to divide everything by this 2, giving me that. Plus 2x divided by 2 gives me x, and minus 7 divided by 2 is negative 7 over 2. That's what we're doing. Now with completing the square, we are manipulating it, okay? So I'm going to pause 1 second. If I have an expression and I add 5 to it and then subtract 5 from it, have I changed anything? No, I haven't. I'm technically plus 5 minus 5 is 0. So if you add 0 to an expression, it's still exactly the same. So that's the idea that I'm using over here. I'm adding something and subtracting that same something. So technically speaking, I'm not changing it in any way. Now let's show you how we get what we want to add and subtract. I'm going to copy this as is, and then I'm going to say plus something, and the something is always divided by 2 squared, or some teachers in textbooks might say multiplied by half, but divided by 2 and multiplied by half mean exactly the same thing, minus the same something. All right, and then we still had that minus 7 over 2, so let's copy that 7 over 2 from here. Okay, what number do I put over there and there in the numerator? That there is going to be the b value. So where am I getting the b value from? The b value happens to be 1 in this question or expression. So I'm going to put that b value. If that b value was 7, I'd put 7. If that b value was 100, I'd put 100 over there, okay? Now we're going to simplify this. Now I'm showing so many steps, you do not have to show this many steps in your question, okay? This is half squared is 1 over 4 minus 1 over 4 minus 7 over 2. This part over here, the first 3 terms, is what we were doing. We were trying to get a perfect trinomial. That's what we were aiming for. So now that, remember that second instruction that, or third instruction that I had for you, factorize trinomial? That's what we're doing. Now to factorize it, keep the 2 outside. It's going to be a perfect trinomial, so we're going to have it squared. See the sign over here? It must go there. If this was minus, this is minus. Square root this and square root this. Then we're going to add and subtract these terms. So minus quarter minus 7 over 2 gives me negative 15 over 4. Okay, and then my last step I had was simplify / solve. So to simplify, I'm multiplying 2 by this bracket and 2 by this number. So when I multiply by the bracket, I literally just put it in front of the bracket. Do you notice I didn't change anything inside? Kept it as is. 2 times this, so the number is still on my calculator, so times 2. And there we go. I've completed the square. Let's try another example. Actually, what I want you to do, try this one on your own. So pause the video over here, try it on your own, and then unpause the video and see if you come to the correct answer. Okay. All right, I'm starting. Is it in standard form? Yes, it is. Is my a value positive 1? Yes, it is. So I don't have to take out anything like I did over there. Instead, I just have to say, with my marker, plus something minus the same something. Okay, and then we still have that term over there. And which value am I going to use? It's this b value. You can put the negative or not. Remember, when you square in a negative, it's still going to be positive. Okay. Negative 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Where's my perfect trinomial? The first 3 terms. So it's perfect. See, it's a minus. We're going to put a minus over there. Square root this one. Square root this one. Minus 1 plus 3 is plus 2. We're done. Did you get it right? Check if you got it right. If you didn't get it right, go look for your mistake. All right, next one. This one, is it in standard form? Yes, it is. But this time it has an a value of 4. So that means I'm going to take out a 4. Okay. We're going to add and subtract something. And we've got to keep that quarter. Let me add that quarter. This b value here is 2. Okay, so this time we got 2 over 2 over here. There's 1. 1 squared is going to be 1. So let's put this. Where's our perfect trinomial? This gives me y, see it's a positive, and square root of 1 minus 1 plus a quarter, minus 3/4. And then we multiply in that 4. Four times negative 3 over 4 is negative 3. And there we go. Now we're going to try a few of them where we're solving. Oh wait, let me talk about maxima and minima really quickly. For maxima and minima, let me go back to this page. If I want, remember I said this is a parabola, right? So we already learned about this last year. We have, or well, we call it a happy face parabola and a sad face parabola. Those aren't mathematical terms. They're just to help you guys understand that it looks in this direction, or well, decreasing, turning, increasing, or increasing, turning, decreasing. So we just refer to them, and remember, they're not mathematical terms. So you can't say in your test smiley face or sad face. That's just for you to remember. But anyway, we know that if the a value is less than 0, if it's negative, then it's a sad face one. And if the a value is positive, then it's a smiley face one. if it's a said face one, can you see it has a maximum point? That's the highest point it can go to. Other than that, it's all going back downwards. And if it's a smiley face one, can you see it has a minimum point that it has? That's the lowest point that it can go to. Now, and I wrote here, it's the Q value. So for each of these, if I ask you what's the maxima or minima, you look at this. Is the A value positive or negative? Can you see it's positive? So it has a minima. So this one here is going to be minima. And the minima is this number over here, negative 15 over 2. Why did I say the Q value? Remember last year with your parabola, you learned the Q value is the turning point of the parabola. This point over here is the turning point of the parabola, the Y value of it. And there's our minima. Let's look at this one. Can you see here in front of this? It's positive. So if it's positive, it has a minima. And how much is the minimum value? 2. Okay, and then this one over here. Can you see again, it's positive. So it has a minima. What's the minima? Negative 3. That's the minimum amount of this. All right, let's solve for x by completing the square. So this instruction tells us we have to complete the square. Same rules apply over here. Is it in standard form? Yes. I'm going to purposely take out 4 as a common factor. Okay, I'm just going to leave this outside here for a second. The only thing that's different between equation and expression is now I have a equal to 0, so you can divide the side by 4 and divide that side by 4 as well. But we're going to do that in a second. Okay, and then we've got that negative 7 over 4. Stupid marker close. Negative 7 over 4 equals to 0. What value are we putting over here? It's the B value. You can put the negative or not. Negative 3 over 2 squared is going to be plus 9 over 4 minus 9 over 4. And then there's this minus 7 over 4. Now, I said because it's an... okay, wait, let's first just factorize the trinomial. Let's keep this 4 for a second. Because it's minus, there's a minus here. X, 3 over 2. Minus 9 minus 7 is negative 16. I'm double checking. Which gives me negative 16 over 4, which is negative 4. Now, because it's an equation, I'm dividing this side by this 4 and this side by this 4, leaving me with x minus 3 over 2 all squared minus 4, because it's gone. This side here, 0 divided by 4 is 0. I'm going to take the 4 over. And we are going to, because it's a perfect square on our left hand side, we're going to say square, let's use a different color pen. We're going to square root the side, and what you do on one side, you do on the other side. Remember, the square root of 4 is both positive 2 and negative 2. I should have kept some more space over here. This is going to be, let me just scribble over here. This is x minus 3 over 2 is equal to positive 2, square root of 4, or negative 2. And then we take that over. So 2 plus 3 over 2. And this side we're also going to take it over. And there we go. I want you guys to try this one here on your own first, and then you're going to see if you're correct, okay? Is it in standard form? Yes, it is. Is there any value in front here? No, so I don't have to divide everything by it. So this is going to give me copying the 7. We want our b value. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. This part over here is our perfect trinomial. So we're basically putting it into a bracket like this, squared. There's a plus sign over here, so it's plus. Square root of 9 is 3. Minus 9 minus 7 is negative 16. We're going to take the 16 over because it's an equation. We're dividing by, we're solving for x. So x plus 3 all squared equals 16. Now we want to take the square root of this side and the square root of this side. Do you see I'm keeping the sign as is? Square root of 16 is 4, or there's a negative solution, negative 4. 4 minus 3 is 1, and this side here, negative 4 minus 3, negative 7, and we are done. Hope that this helped you with completing the square.